crosstown traffic and the green line whizzing by overhead on this calm winter night in Chicago. But not for long. Welcome everyone to Chicago for the 1988 All-Star Game. On my side, Clark Kellogg, and our sideline reporter tonight, David Aldridge. I'm Kevin Harlan. And Clark, this is the second time Chicago has hosted this mid-season classic.
Yeah, you go back to 1973, that's when they hosted their first one. The East won it 104 to 84 back then. That was the lowest combined score in an All-Star game, Kevin, since the 1950s.
We'll see if then tonight, Clark, they can surpass that total.
I would think they could. No shortage of scores on either side. I expect an up-tempo, fast-paced game, an exciting game with plenty of highlights and buckets.
Cannot wait. And your West All-Stars, Fat Lever and Magic Johnson, the guards, Alex English and Karl Malone at the forward spots, and in the middle, Hakeem Olajuwon. For the East, it's Moses Malone inside, and Dominique Wilkins with Larry Bird the forward. And in the backcourt, Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan.
And you look at Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, rivals since college. Early on, no love lost between them, but over time, they've become friends.
Now here's Malone. English on the wing. Over Wilkins. Jordan with the rebound.
Very surprising that he came away empty there, especially given room to operate.
Now the feed to Malone. Thomas dishes to Jordan. Shot clock at 5. Over Lever. And when the jump shot is fallen for Michael Jordan, what can you do? He is unstoppable. And so it's Johnson who brings the ball up for the West All-Stars. He gets that one. Clark, you see Larry and Magic together in those Converse ads. They've become really the faces of the NBA.
And Kevin, I think they've inherited the mantle from the great Dr. J. He's done such a great job representing the league all these years, and certainly he's left it in good hands with those two.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. And he drops in the layup off the glass. And if there was a snub, Clark, for this year's All-Star game, many felt it was the sharpshooter Dale Ellis of the Sonics.
Well, you take a look at what he's done. He's the only top 10 scorer in the NBA who was not an All-Star.
Yeah, the Tennessee Volunteers should be here. And Michael Jordan winning the dunk contest yesterday, Clark. Can he add to his trophy case tonight?
Kevin, I think his teammates want to see him win the MVP. I think they're going to give him as many touches as he needs to have a chance to do it.
Ooh, that'll be fun to watch. And plenty of subplots to this game. For more, let's send it over to David Aldridge. DA, take it away.
Thanks very much. Now, this story has never gone away over the years, guys. Isaiah Thomas is, of course, a native Chicagoan, but you'll still hear some boos today from Bulls fans. That's because at that All-Star game a couple of years ago, people questioned whether Isaiah froze out Michael Jordan. And some people still believe it. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, that story has not gone away. Thank you, David. For what it's worth, Clark, Isaiah Thomas denies there was a freeze-out, and Jordan himself says, I never said it, so what do you think?
But the reality is, we probably never will know the full story.
And the Eastern All-Stars favored to win tonight.
Star power and firepower. Veteran IQ and smarts, but you never know. The West has quite a bit of talent, too.
Indeed they do. Here's Johnson following the basket by Michael Jordan. Malone can't hit.
He has to make that one. I mean, you have to make the defense pay when they slough off of you like that. Michael Jordan using that strength of his to get into the defense to draw the foul on the way up.
The East All-Stars shooting their first shots from the free throw line tonight. And the East All-Stars with some changes. Doherty's checked in for Malone. Ewing comes in for Bird. And it's Rivers in for Thomas. So an almost entirely new group now for the West. Abdul-Jabbar's checked in for Olajuwon. Worthy comes in for Malone. McDaniels checked in for English. Clyde Drexler has subbed in for Lever. Here's McDaniel. And Johnson now top of the key. Worthy kicks to Johnson. And again, unable to change momentum here. And Kareem looking to set the career record for all-star scoring. Isn't that something?
It really is. Needs just 10 points wants to do it, Kevin, and you got to love his chances. I mean, that's a layup for him, pun intended.
A good one. Ainge just checked in for Dominique Wilkins. Now Jordan after Magic Johnson's three-pointer that didn't go. Over McDaniel. The shot's good from Jordan. Jordan's got 14 points for the game. And tonight's All-Star MVP will have a $5,000 check presented in their name, Clark, to the Thurgood Marshall Black Education Fund.
A great cause in honor of a terrific American.
1:25 left in the first quarter. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the most All-Star appearances by far in NBA history, Clark, and All-Star in every season of his career except one. And in that year, he was injured.
Yeah, and at 40 years of age, matter of fact, the youngest player tonight was only 4 years old when Kareem made his first All-Star appearance. That player, Brad Daugherty.
No kidding.
That's right.
Clark, and amidst this All-Star celebration, labor negotiations between the players and the NBA continue.
Trying to find their way through this current impasse, Kevin, and looking to avoid any interruptions to this game that we all have a love affair with.
Yeah, I know you and I hope they can find some common ground.
Please make it happen soon.
And Michael Jordan won the dunk contest last night, and man, was it great. What a thriller. He and Dominique Clark put on a great show, and you could tell they both wanted it so badly. Perhaps the home court advantage gave Michael Jordan Clark the edge.
And there was another winner from last night, and that was Larry Bird, taking home the trophy in the three-point shootout. And he didn't even need to take off his warm-ups to handle his business.
Clark, somebody told me he looked at the rest of the competitors and said, okay, who's going to be in second place here? Who's going to finish behind me?
Sounds just like him.
Johnson, the pass to Abdul-Jabbar. That shot misses. Jordan outside. Shoots over Worthy. And we reach the end of the first quarter. East All-Stars lead by 8. And back with the start of the second quarter in just a moment.
West, 10.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 1988 All-Star Game here in Chicago. As these great fans hope Michael Jordan can bring home the win and the MVP hardware.
And the head coach of the East, Mike Fratello, his first time coaching in the All-Star game.
Bird's shot was good. And Larry Bird winning 3 straight MVP awards from 1983 to 1986.
You know who the last player was to do that?
I'm going back to the 60s. Something. You tell me.
Yeah,
I know you
Bill
know.
Russell.
Yeah, right.
It's Bill Russell, 1960 to 63.
Of course. I'm glad we bring him up. A legend.
Yep.
And the West All-Stars looking at who they've got.
Personal foul.
We've got Johnson. Aguirre is out there at Malone. Then it's Olajuwon. And it's Lever in at the shooting guard position. How about that? Mike's a terrific friend of yours and mine, and Fratello's Hawks recently moved into first place in the East after the Cavs beat the Celtics. Clark enabling him to become the coach of the East All-Star.
So don't be surprised if the Cavs' Brad Daugherty gets extended minutes in his first All-Star appearance. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Magic Johnson.
And here early, Clark, the East has the edge.
You look at that team on the East squad, an embarrassment of riches, Kevin, and you know they've got so many weapons. I think it simply comes down to execution for them.
Now here's Jordan. Over Lever. Jordan's shot is off. And so it's Johnson who brings the ball up for the West. Trailing by 10. Driving in. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
Ewing.
It's on Patrick Ewing.
Johnson's length makes him hard to deal with inside, which is why he's able to draw fouls.
Malone's checked in for the East. Thomas comes in for Doc Rivers. The East leading by 9. Jordan kicks to Malone. Shoots over Olajuwon. Malone, no luck. Fat Lever is a remarkable rebounder for a player his size. Johnson, the pass to Olajuwon. Malone trying to break free. The vision of Magic Johnson is unsurpassed. And Clark, when you look at Akeem Olajuwon's Houston Rockets, here is a team making a lot of moves.
I tell you what, their trade for Joe Barry Carroll and Sleepy Floyd paying huge dividends. They're certainly on the rise in my mind.
Yeah, a lot of people like those moves.
And Coach Mike Fratello, a colleague of ours, coaching in the All-Star game, standing tall amongst a bunch of tall guys in the NBA. You know, his dad was an amateur boxer, and, you know, I think that background gives Mike a lot of confidence as a coach.
Now, here's Johnson. 7 points in the game, and that one good.
Magic Johnson in his 8th All-Star game now, 2nd in All-Star votes this year, and he hosts his own All-Star game in the summer in L.A. as a fundraiser, and I understand it's quite an event.
Here's Jordan after Magic Johnson's bucket. And there's the call. It's going to be an illegal screen. And Clark, not easy for these coaches to put their stamp on the game. Only a 1-hour practice yesterday to get acquainted and move through some sets.
And you know, Kevin, it's not about necessarily practice time. A few offensive sets is all that's needed. I think it's how you manage the players and give them a platform to have fun and do what they do.
That's a good point. Count that one, and the East All-Stars lead has been cut down now to just 2 on the basket from Johnson. Here's Jordan, and they convert it last on attempt number 3. And starting last season, Clark, Michael Jordan's scoring went through the roof.
Averaging over 37 points per game, partner, and he's kept close to that pace this season as well. Remarkable.
Amazing and remarkable, right? Wow.
And, you know, so far, I like the effort from both teams. It's an exhibition, but each team showing great pride. They're getting after it.
Kevin McHale, he checked in for Bird. The West also making some changes. Donaldson comes in for Olajuwon. And it's English in for Aguirre. Bucket is good. And Michael Jordan, not only last season's leading scorer by a mile, but Clark Kellogg this season, he is in the running for the Defensive Player of the Year.
He is the true definition of a two-way player. Gets it done at a high level at both ends.
Here's Lever. Following the basket by Michael Jordan. Johnson right side. No good on the 3. And Clark, so much talent for each side, but they've got to develop that chemistry on the fly, don't they?
Exactly, and that's what the coaches will be looking for down the stretch. Which group of players really complement one another and give you the best chance to win?
And now let's go over to David Aldridge with a report on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Thank you, Kevin. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the oldest All-Star in history. This is his 17th game. No one else has been in more than 13. To put that into context, there were 6 players in yesterday's Legends game that were younger than Kareem. Magic Johnson says he respects Kareem more than anyone I know because of the pride this man has in whatever he does. Kevin, back to you.
He is a very proud individual. David, thank you. And Kareem's coming out here, Clark, after spending 2 days in bed with strep throat. I mean, it's remarkable.
And Kevin, that's exactly the pride Magic was talking about, and that's why it seems like every game we do, Kareem is adding to some type of record that he's already established. Tonight, he could very well become the leading scorer in the history of the All-Star game.
Isn't that phenomenal? They call him captain for a reason. He is truly the leader of this entire NBA.
Yes, sir.
Clock at 4, and Jordan gets it to go.
Good for about 1 per game. Ainge finds his open man easily there.
The West trails by 6. Outside, Drexler. Back to Johnson. No good that time. Jordan with some nice D. And Thomas has it in the corner. Kept alive. McHale dishes to Ainge. Jordan against Johnson. No good from Jordan. And the foul called on Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
That's his first foul.
First personal foul. 3rd team foul.
And here's the West with the ball. 6-point game. Pass to English. There's 42 seconds left in the first half of basketball. Here's Johnson, and it's sent back by McHale. And Thomas has it in the corner. Offline with his three. The West trails by 6. Here's English. And Magic Johnson continuing to orchestrate beautifully.
You know, people said Alex English was too light of frame, too skinny, not athletic enough. Well, how about this? He's playing in his 7th straight All-Star game. So much for being too skinny.
Ainge against Drexler. Over Ainge. Drexler, no good. He gets it up. And the last second attempt does not go in for him. And so it's Michael Jordan making things happen for the East All-Stars. He got into double digits for the quarter with 10 points total. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we welcome you back to the second half of the 1988 All-Star Game here in Chicago. Great performances from these players, whether it's their first time participating or their 17th. The East leading by 4.
You know, you get into the latter stages of the game, and it's normal to wonder who will take home the MVP trophy. It's certainly one of those accolades that's mentioned when you talk about the great ones.
They've got Bird. Thomas is out there with Michael Jordan. Then there's Dominique Wilkins. And it's Malone in at the 5, roaming the paint. That's the group for Mike Fratello getting going here in the second half. Offensive rebound. The grace of Hakeem Olajuwon. Something special to see.
How about this list? Players who have never missed an All-Star game in their careers. Jerry West, Bob Pettit, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Those last 3 playing here tonight.
And of the players in tonight's All-Star game, Clark, 2 have won MVP trophies in this game before. Larry Bird and Isaiah Thomas.
And how about this, Kevin? Thomas has won 2 out of the last 4 years. If he was to get 3 MVPs, that would put him in some rarefied air, tying with Oscar Robertson for second most. Bob Pettit is the only player to do it 4 times.
And the East with the lead.
Living up to that favored and top billing and giving these fans quite a show.
And the East All-Stars decide to take their first time out here. And here is Thomas. He's been patient so far. Nothing on the scoreboard yet. Here's Jordan. Makes it off the glass.
Hey, the defense has the right idea there, but Jordan has the skills to overcome the contact.
And so it's Johnson who brings the ball up for the West. Olajuwon inside, working on Malone. Olajuwon can't hit. The East leading by 4. And Clark, a slow start, but Michael Jordan is beginning now to get some momentum and heating up.
And the fans starting to take notice. They're feeling it a little bit, making some noise. They're certainly hoping he can make it happen.
Johnson. That shot off. Great D that time from Bird. Clark, what a performance offensively.
They're really rolling at that end of the floor. Excellent game plan and execution.
Jordan down low. He's covered by Lever, and it's Jordan, that time on the assist by Malone. Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. Johnson against Jordan. Johnson kicks to English. Excellent D there from Wilkins. Here's Jordan. And not many out there who can elevate like Michael Jordan.
And they're pressing their advantage here, looking to extend this lead.
The West trails by 10. Outside Lever. The pass to English. Johnson outside. English outside. Outside Malone. Tipped away. Looking to end the run. English misses.
And, you know, most of these guys are accustomed to having their team's offense built around them. It's an adjustment for them now to figure out who's going to get the rock most of the time. basically been all him. I mean, he scored most of the points himself.
They need to find a high percentage shot, Clark, to regain some of that confidence.
I think they've gone too long without seeing one go down, and that begins to mess with your psyche.
Now a timeout called by the West All-Stars. And you think about adjusting, Clark, how about the All-Star reserves? Guys that start normally are the stars of their team, now off the bench on a team of stars.
Kevin, an excellent point. For players who are used to starting the game, probably a rare experience coming in off the bench and trying to get it going. But I think these guys so enjoy being part of this. That sacrifice is not much at all.
You're exactly right. Patrick Ewing's checked in for the East. Rivers comes in for Thomas.
Pat Lever is not the biggest guard, but he makes big impact on the game because he plays with such intensity at both ends of the floor.
Abdul-Jabbar's checked in for the West. And Lever drops them both.
You know, there's been talk about adding a third referee to NBA games. The commissioner and the rules committee are in favor of it, and they plan to put it before the Board of Governors at the next meeting.
Bird outside, jacks up a three. The offensive rebound. Beyond the arc. It's rebounded by the West. And Clark, with three officials working games, do you think that'll result in more fouls being called, more eyes on the ball? They can pick up a lot more, certainly with more guys out there.
Yeah, you know, I think, Kevin, it might be the case early on with the third official, but over time it'll smooth itself out. Off the ball, you know, some things you can get away with in the past, maybe not so much with three officials out there.
And right now, let's watch that terrific swat.
You know, that's about as good a defensive play as you're going to see. Instant reaction to get a hand on the shot. Beautifully done.
2 minutes.
Now, here is Jordan. He has 40. The feed to Wilkins. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
Xavier McDaniel.
You know, Wilkins gives you a lot of highlights, but this time showing you he can get gritty and get his hands dirty, absorbing the contact and still getting the shot in the air.
And he sinks the second. The West trails by 11. Outside Lever. It's worthy high post. That ball. Great assist by Lever. Lever's got his third assist on the night. Outside Jordan. Right side Wilkins. Passes it to Rivers. Jordan outside. Just 5 on the clock. He dishes it to Ewing. The size and aggression of Patrick Ewing inside.
And with Patrick Ewing leading the way, the New York Knicks finally competitive again. The big man has quickly found a rapport with rookie point guard Mark Jackson. They are a team on the rise. Book that.
And Kareem will need to get it going, Clark, to reach double digits.
I think his teammates have to do a better job of getting him touches. Just keep feeding him. He's more than capable of getting there.
The West trails by 11. McDaniel, the pass to Abdul-Jabbar. And Kareem, the elder statesman. 19 years in the NBA. Decades of dominance. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
Yeah, you know, it's never easy trying to defend Ewing inside, which is why he gets fouled.
This is his first free throw of the game. And the East All-Stars with some changes. Doherty comes in for Dominique Wilkins. And Ainge is subbed in for Larry Bird. A nice shot by McDaniel. And the 6'8" forward from the Seattle Supersonics, Xavier McDaniel.
Now in year 3, he's got to be excited, making his very first All-Star appearance.
Strong player from Wichita State. Rivers against Lever. Pass to Drexler. And it's the East with the rebound. Jordan's got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game. Here's Ainge. And he got that one up in time, but doesn't go in. Michael Jordan getting it done for the East. This has been a remarkable game for him offensively. Anytime you get over the 40-point mark, it's been a special, special day. And we'll be right back after. Welcome back to Chicago for the 1988 All-Star Game. The grand finale of what's been a tremendous weekend to celebrate, the NBA. The West trails by 7.
You take a look at the landscape of the NBA, and I tell you what, that Central Division, dominant. How about this? 36 games above 500 combined.
On the court for the West All-Stars, getting the fourth quarter going. English is out there with Malone. Then it's Olajuwon. Then it's Lever. And it's Johnson in at the 1 spot.
And, you know, they said Brad Daugherty was too soft when he came into the league. Well, an all-star in year 2 and now regarded as a top 3 center in the league. Well, sometimes they get it wrong in their scouting reports.
Olajuwon finds Johnson. Goes back up. Tries it again. And it's blocked by Jordan.
Boy, much respect for the defensive Jordan. I mean, he gives his all on this end of the floor. I mean, fantastic at getting his hands up to block shots.
Well, you look at that Central Division, all 6 teams on pace to make the playoffs.
And, you know, Chicago got off to that great start, Kevin. Then they cooled off just a bit. Now tied with Detroit at 3 games behind Atlanta. Those teams are breaked up pretty good.
Danny Ainge has developed into an elite marksman.
And Danny Ainge making his all-star debut in year 7, having the best season of his career. He went from a singles hitter in pro baseball to a long-distance laser in the NBA.
Down the stretch here, the East, Clark out in front.
Getting it done. It's been such a fun game to watch. Entertaining from both sides.
Whew, it sure has been. A big group substitution here for the East. Malone's checked in for Gordon. Bird comes in for Ewing. Wilkins is checked in for Danny Ainge. And Thomas subbed in for Rivers. And so Jordan will bring it up for the East All-Stars. A great fourth quarter, just giving up 2 points. We're about 2 minutes into the fourth quarter in this one. Look at the domination on the glass by Moses Malone. And Moses Malone, Clark, the wily veteran for the Washington Bullets.
And you know, Kevin, as Coach Wes Unseld says, Malone has really added a level of aggressiveness to the Washington Bullets.
And he brings Clark a championship pedigree to the team.
No doubt.
Now a timeout called by the West All-Stars.
The interior defense has been very subpar, and I bet their coach is letting them know about it.
And English kicks to Malone. Here's the lob to the hoop. And no good. The dry spell continuing for him.
And Commissioner David Stern in the house tonight. Since taking over 4 years ago, he's done a remarkable job helping guide this league to new unprecedented heights.
Exactly. Outside Lever. Back to Johnson. For those just joining us, fourth quarter here. We're just over 2.5 minutes into it. Malone. And good coming off the assist by Magic Johnson. Malone's got his first bucket of the night. One thing the league has done since Commissioner Stern has taken over, Clark, is really marketing the league around its stars. And I like that type of strategy.
I agree with you, Kevin, wholeheartedly. And what better time to highlight those great stars than tonight? Amazing talent, compelling personalities. The league is certainly on a great trajectory.
It absolutely is.
Well, he's much better than that. Really no excuse for missing that lead.
Here's Thomas. Jordan deciding where to go with it. And Bird with the basket on the assist by Jordan. Jordan's got his 9th assist in the game now. And a little over 3.5 minutes in the books so far here in the fourth. Oh, and they need a basket in the worst way.
I think they're forcing things right now, and it's why their offense looks so pedestrian.
And Magic Johnson, Clark, made it clear coming into this game that he wanted the challenge of defending the great Michael Jordan.
He certainly did, and the West as a team will certainly have their work cut out for him trying to slow that guy down.
That is going to be fun to watch. To the inside, Olajuwon. Well-timed pass, and he goes straight to the bucket for the layup.
When it comes to distributing the ball, nobody does it better than Magic. When one of his guys has a clean look, the ball is there quickly and on target.
Jordan against Lever. And then Malone with the dunk.
Moses Malone is not only a 6-time rebounding champ, but he's also a 10-time All-Star. He gives the Washington Bullets some real muscle inside.
Here's Johnson. Here's Olajuwon. Makes that one his 6th of the night. Very healthy, 6 for 9.
Hey, it's inexcusable not putting a body on a king. I mean, you deserve to get...
Michael Jordan now with 42 points, Clark. He has tied the record for scoring in an all-star game.
A piece of history. Boy, is he special.
Johnson, the pass to Olajuwon. Shoots over Malone. Count that one, and the East All-Stars lead has been cut back down to 12 as they get that one from Olajuwon. Here's Jordan. Hakeem Olajuwon with the rebound. Olajuwon's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. And he lays in the alley-oop.
The tried and true alley-oop play.
You know what, Clark? Most guys would have gone for the slam, but he just lays it in.
Nice. You know, the separator with Jordan from other guys is his drive. That's obvious in my mind. He wants to win more than most anybody else out there on the floor.
And so Jordan nails both of them. The West trails by 12. Poked loose. Doesn't go that time. And the West will go the other way with it. Outside, English. Back to Johnson. Pass to Olajuwon. 5 to shoot. That's in for his 8th bucket tonight. A hot 8 for 11 shooting so far.
Boy, it's been attack after attack from Hakeem in this one. He's not giving the defense any breaks.
Jordan's shot is off.
Boy, that is awesome defense, guys, against a capable finisher. Well done. I'm sure the coaches love that.
Lever, no good. And so Bird will bring it up for the East All-Stars. At one point, they led by 16. Tremendous pass from Bird. He can do it all.
There's the peripheral vision we talk about. Bird finding a wide-open teammate.
Johnson, the pass to Lever. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line. It's on Larry Bird.
Second team foul.
And that one falls for Johnson.
You know, Johnson is really one of the more unique point guards that we've had in the game over the years. And he's able to do it with style and substance.
6 seconds left in the game. A deep 3 from Jordan. Offline. And the Eastern All-Stars deliver. The favorites coming in, but they did not disappoint.
Yeah, you looked at that team on paper and you saw they were the stronger team and should have been favored, but you still got to go out and prove it, and they did exactly that.
And so much scoring in that lineup for the East. My goodness, look at those names. That's always going to be tough to stop.
And you factor in the raucous crowd cheering on Michael Jordan, Kevin. No wonder they found that extra gear they needed when it was time to get it done.
That's a good point. This